You know, I guess most of these spottings for me have been very random. Like, if at all, I always think about, how did I bag this and how did I get this in my life. I'm just like you just never know. I could step out from here and the biggest career opportunity would be waiting for me. It's literally happened
Wow,
like that
touch
for me
wood.
because I remember I had nowhere thought of television because I was not somebody who did watch television. I had nothing to do with it. It was not my zone. I didn't really watch it. Uh, it was this one ad that I did, which was a hair oil endorsement, I remember. And that was constantly being played on this channel. Okay, so somebody from that channel reached out to me and they said that, are you interested in doing television? And I was just like, no, I mean, I was also getting into sports at that time. I had briefly done the World Cup. So I was like, no, like I'm looking at something else. And in my head, I used to be like, no, but I want to do films. Why TV? And why would I get into it? And they said, why don't you just come and meet us once? And I went and met them and they said, we're coming with this concept of weekend shows. So we'll only do a show that'll come on Saturday and Sunday.
And that was a new thing at that time.
That was a new thing at that time. And I said, okay, this looks doable. Like, it doesn't need too much of my time. It's just like, wow, this doesn't sound so bad. And then, of course, there's money and there's regular money. And I said, okay, I think I'm on board. The funny part was that show never took off. So we shot like a pilot for it, but the show never took off. But what happened was, because of the show, I got actually on a contract with that channel and they said, we'll give you another show, you wait. So they made me wait for a while and they came back to me and they said, why don't you do this show, is how I got my first show. And I said, but this is a daily soap and that was not what I had in mind. How am I going to do hosting and like, how am I going to do my sports thing? And they said, no, but this is what it is. And at that time, there was one part of me, I think somewhere in my gut, I also really pay attention to my mom's inner voice. I feel like she always has the right advice to give. And she told me, she's like, what's the harm? Like, you have nothing to lose. Why don't you give it a try? And she's like, you'll just like be acting every day in front of the camera. I said, okay, let's give this a try. I did give it a try. And I can tell you very honestly, 1 month into it, I wanted to run away. I thought I'd taken the worst decision of my life. I was just like, ये मेरे को कहाँ फंसा दिया है, मैं कहीं भाग जाऊँ यहाँ से। कौन सी दुनिया है जहाँ पर लोग 14-15 घंटे काम करते हैं, मेरे को 60 दिन छुट्टी नहीं मिली थी. My life, I had no social life, I had no resting life, I had no life. I used to just
TV at that time was
it was bad.
grueling.
And there was this concept, I don't know if it still exists because I'm a little disconnected, but there was constantly this thing कि main lead को रुलाना है तब जाके आपकी TRP आएगी. So they used to have these scenes written where you had to cry. So every day, you're doing those crying scenes. You're there on set. You're just perpetually parked there. So yeah, 1 month into it, I really wanted to run away. I thought, what have I done? But I don't know, somewhere it just kind of started absorbing.